Hi, Irma.
Hi.
So we talked about this a lot, and I want to ask you again. Um, what do you think about forest? Or what did you think when you were small? Did you like it, or did you go there alone?
Well, actually, of course, these questions are pretty hard to answer and to do that simple and short because as it is by seeing to realize and to tell about it very shortly, I guess the same for me. And when most of the things I have to imagine about the forest, so always the image or the picture about the forest is something between imagination and reality. So I have to always guess which half of bigger, the one of the imagination or the one of the reality. But when I was small, actually, I knew about the forest only from the fairy tales that I used to read myself, or about the ones that were read, that were being read to me, and of course, our fairy tales, our Lithuanian fairy tales, and many other popular ones. They are about witches and devils and, and angry wolves. No, actually, I used to think that wolves are the ones that we should be afraid of, and that if you go to the forest, of course, you would meet any wolf or any fox. So it was some place for me that would be afraid of going to alone, especially, but even not alone. And the redhead girl, I'm not sure, So everywhere the forest was some place.
Red Riding Hood, the
Oh,
little Red Riding Hood. I think. Yes.
okay. I think so too. Yeah, I never read it in English. But basically, those fairy tales also were shaping my understanding because otherwise I wouldn't have heard about the forest at all. I mean, only when since I was born in the small countryside, so um, there was quite much of nature around me and the gardens, the trees that I was climbing in, the the other bushes and grounds and all these things and the animals. So I wasn't that far from nature though, but but still, forest was the place where it's unsafe to go. And actually, I remember also when we used to go to the fields further from home. For example, the lands where you would be growing many vegetables, for example, many potatoes, but they are far from home. And when you go there, parents would leave you in some corner, and they would go to work, and you would stay there alone. And they get further and further, and you keep sitting, and then there is that point when you don't hear anyone around you, but you just start chilling in that in that green, I don't know, on the grass, and of course, slowly sneaking around and checking what to do. And then a time comes when you start thinking, what if they forgot to take me and they left me by mistake? What if they went home? They forgot to take me with them and left there in that garden, and that used to be my most scary thing. So yeah, and now actually,
So the unknown, the things you
unknown.
don't know are scary, and you didn't know what surrounds you there in nature.
Yeah, and so hard to explore, because you can't touch all those places. They are either too high or too far or too deep, or I don't know.
What do you like in the forest?
I like the smell most. Yes, I mean, it has so different scents in different seasons, and also I love I love the sounds there, and uh, that feeling, you know, that you don't feel the looks, because when I'm in the city I always feel the attention of people, because they wonder if I see or I don't, and how I do the things. And when you are in the forest, you know that you no one cares, you know, what you do, how you look, and it's easier to be alone. But there are many scary things in the forest too for me. For example, if any insect touches you, or or you touch anything that is different material, and it's scary. So you keep and once I was fixing myself, what I do in the forest, I keep moving and putting these insects away from me, you know, and all the time the body moves like that, because someone is biting you, someone again, or some branch touches the hair, and you always keep moving, and I don't feel very much comfortable. I mean, in that sense, because you don't realize what's going on. So, but yet it's very interesting.
Is there something in the forest that you don't know how it looks like, what's the shape of it, or I don't know well, how it is moving, if it's moving, that you would like to know?
Now again, I've got quite a lot of information, but sometimes I feel this uncertainty between the things that I think that I know and the things that I was told about. So it really confuses, but I think I explored a lot while working in this project, but it's very hard, you know, it's very hard to answer, because until the moment when you get to know something, you didn't know that you
didn't know that you don't know.
Yes, you didn't know that you don't know. Exactly. So
do you remember such a moment?
Yes, for example, I used to think that the ant is just a small dot. I mean, that it's round shape, because they used to bite me if I stepped on their home by mistake, and I used to like touching all various insects, but then I tried to touch the ant. It was such small, I didn't feel anything, you know, I just took, like, I was feeling it is some, you know, I don't know, not even, it's impossible to touch it and to realize the shape was so small. Maybe I got the wrong one, the wrong image, I don't know. I was so much surprised when you told that you can see with the eyes the shape of it. So I thought that
maybe you touched a very fat one, but still I think it would be.
Yeah. So okay, I think I touched a very small one, which I just couldn't distinguish its
yes, it's difficult,
legs and I don't know, body, or some whatever parts they have. I couldn't find them. I just my cousin gave it to me, and I said where it is, and it was like some small dot, you know.
Yeah.
And also it was interesting to discover that the nets, the ones spiders,
Spider webs.
spider nets.
Spider webs.
Spider webs. Yeah, so the spider webs that they look like, you said, a very tidy chain.
Yeah.
Because for me, that would be something not very kind when you go and touch it, because it sticks to your fingers, you know, and wings around you, and it's hard to get rid of them, and then you keep, oh damn. And you know, even in the city, in the forest, everywhere, you are touching the tree or something, and then these spider webs, and you can't get rid of them, and they don't really feel very comfortable. But when you told them to me how they look like, then I thought, wow, they are so beautiful. It's
So you
really
could
nice.
imagine that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, you surprised me very much when I realized that when I was little and I was reading these books and fairy tales, and I can see a picture of, for example, a wolf, and in the picture it looks one way, but then I see a photo of it and it's a different thing. So I never really, well, I did think of fairies and trolls and so on, but things that I can see in a picture, and then when it is drawn and when it has human qualities in a
Yes.
fairy tale, and when it's an animal, it's something very different, and I always knew it. And when you can see, you always know that they are different. But then when we were walking in the forest and you asked if a bear can stand and walk on two legs and if it will attack us if we meet the bear, and I then realized what a big difference there is when you just don't see these different images,
Yes.
like a fairy tale image and a natural image.
Sure it is.
So that's why we made this book, and this book is performative because in most of the topics you cannot explain just by touching a dead thing. Well,
Okay.
they're not dead, they're created, but we needed
At least they're real sizes.
yes, and we needed movement to add understanding, to really try and give this image to your imagination. And so we can try some things. I think you can touch all the objects now that are in the book. And the book in Lithuanian is called Ką jaučia miškas. It means we don't have
That's the forest.
yeah, what does the forest feel? So it's also connected with feelings, because I think for most of the people, forest is a place where you can feel a lot. And it also, this name and this question makes it a little more human, just like your fairy tales, but in this other way, when it's more sensitive, when it's more understandable and close to your heart.
Yeah.
I hope.